All right. So we're going to be diving in today. We're going to be talking about Signal Raptor with Austin Holmes and his vision. This is a family man who understands the incredible importance of family. Him and his wife have also built this company called Signal Raptor that is doing awesome things in the PR media industry. They're crushing it financially while they're doing this. But my friends, years ago, I got featured in a Fox News post, and that was the key to driving one of my future investors to say, oh my gosh, they're in Fox News. I should probably invest $150,000 in this company. And I was like, you probably should. That would be a great idea. And he ended up investing 50,000. Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for being able to help us get first class business off the ground the right way. And PR and media, guys, that industry is just so broken. There's so many crappy things out there that aren't really leading to results. I can't take back the 4,000. I think it was 4,000 I put towards one program. I'm not going to name her name. Step two, went into Signal Genesis with Lane Hoke. He may be a competitor of Signal Raptor still, but that was one of the ones that got me in through Fox. And now I got to meet Austin Holmes, who's just building the business right, building the family right. And I know the bromance is strong, my friends. But Austin, welcome into Vision Pros Live.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. It's crazy since last time we talked. The world has changed like 50 times. Like I think you mentioned 5 years. I don't know if it was before the show or during the intro, but we're working like 5-day increments where everything changes. It's a cool place to be, but our main mission is still just to help people. So
Yeah, it is. And I have that hoodie. I'm glad I didn't wear it today. Otherwise, we'd be way too twinsies. Go high level. Right. And
yeah.
so, with that said, PR and media, my friends, if you want your vision to take off, it's so important to get the vision in front of others. And I will say, I'm grateful that I waited for my PR launches until I had centered myself around who I am, what I really want to do, how I really want to show up and serve the world, because once you're stamped on Google and search for like what you do and how you've done it and you've built something, it can be a little bit sticky to unwind all of that and then get your brand recentered out there. So let's dive into some of the, I don't know, good, bad, or ugly secrets behind PR. Austin, what you've been in the world of PR for a while. You're special ops veteran too. Thank you for your service to our country, and you also worked at a PR agency for some time. So if you want to unravel a little bit too, how you got to where you got to, what you've learned along the way. But I'd love to just hear some secrets from you.
Yeah, the first one is people don't understand PR enough. It's funny because we look at the different cultures. We have team members all around the world, and for some of them, there is no culture of PR, and it's purely marketing. It's purely what you can push. And then, like over in Europe specifically, PR is almost on equal footing with marketing spend. And the easiest comparison on the two sides that I can say, and I am stealing this from somebody else, but marketing is what you're saying about yourself, and public relations is what other people are saying about you. And that's very critical in this time frame. And our business has seen a huge boost from this. But because AI is looking at what other people are saying about you way more than it's looking at what you're saying about yourself. Yes, your socials still matter. Your website is very important, and making sure that's structured the right way. Very important. But it's becoming more and more about what are people reviewing you on and what is being said about you on social, including sites like Reddit and Quora. And then, of course, we have the media that always ranks at the top of that stack because it is the most competitive thing. They have built the trust over time. Some of them have done a better job of building trust than others. But there's so many entry points because what we're talking about generally is your brand reputation. And it's come out a lot. A lot of people are talking about the personal brand side of it and how if you lose your brand, it's really hard to rebuild it. Jordan Belfort is an example of this. He's never going to live that down. But he's done a ton of work to rebuild his reputation.
He's found a way. It's an interesting example. That's
Yeah.
a really interesting example because it also reminds me of the guy from the Fire Fest, when the Netflix documentary came out, and he built
Yeah.
something that he couldn't fulfill on, and now he's coming out of prison, or he already did, and he's already relaunched it and already sold it out again. Right. So the world is weird when it comes to this stuff, but I can tell you right now, I wouldn't sleep well at night. I wouldn't feel at peace with myself if I launched poorly, fell flat, didn't fulfill for people, and then and especially like if you're just living out of integrity. And so I don't want to
Yeah.
accuse either one of them. I don't know them personally. I know what the stories say. I know the movie and all that. But to your point, it it creates a very different book for your life. One that I wouldn't want to go past. So yes, do the and I love that you said that the public relations is about what others are saying about you, and you can go around, I don't know, tricking or convincing people to vote for you. But there's a very different reality of what you're going to be able to create for yourself when you're actually doing something that truly helps people. And so you've given me some ideas to think about with Reddit and Quora too, even AI. I was talking to it a few weeks ago about PR and some idea in relation to one of our email automation launches and search engine optimization, and it still didn't talk about Reddit and Quora, even though I prompted it to. I was like, you know what? What are
Mm.
your thoughts on these things? So we're going to see if we're going to get to the secrets on that. I'm going to cut for a little break. When we come back, we're probably going to dive right into that topic, and we'll get to hear more about what Austin Holmes has built here with Signal Raptor. And again, my friends, the $500 a month that one of his service programs is providing, that type of program led to me getting my first $50,000 investor. So I highly recommend sticking around and seeing what this can do for your visions. All right. Welcome in to Vision Pros Live with Jackson Calame. I'm your show host. We will be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. I did that backwards. That's fun. We'll bring Austin right back. So, welcome into Vision Pros Live, everybody. I'm your show host, Jackson Calame, founder and CEO of First Class Business, and we make mistakes all the time, don't we? I want to bring up real fast a couple of opportunities before we talk with Austin about more PR secrets. One is Rich Ashton at Growing Your Own. Rich Ashton built a company for many, many years. He has more than 30 years of experience in the HVAC industry alone and residential commercial spaces. He's the type of leader that I want to grow into someday. And why is this so important for you as visionaries? Because you're going to constantly be in need of leadership and need leadership advice. And I highly recommend, again, following Rich Ashton. He's one of those people that I'm grateful to now have next to me in the things that I'm building, but I wish I had found him 10 years ago. There's so many lessons I could have learned sooner. But all of us can look at that now and say, well, how do I learn from people who have decades of wisdom and experience on us? So go check out Rich Ashton, Growing Your Own, how he built his own brand. There's so many principles that you can use for your own brands in the process. Next is the AI marketplace. The AI marketplace is what we've built to help everybody in the world move forward with the AI, knowing that you already are an expert. You have the authentic intelligence that artificial intelligence needs to build from and with. And if you learn how to use AI with productivity and profitability in mind, you can go from building things with a nano banana system that creates images that are fun to actually creating profitability for yourself. I highly recommend checking this program out. It's $50 a month for people who want to be founding members, or $500 for lifetime access for those first 50. But if you're in a position where you can't afford that, come and join us for free. We have a grant program designed for you. We don't want anybody left behind as we're building the future. And then there's the Water Project. The Water Project is near and dear to my heart. It's one of those elements where if you've never been thirsty in your life, you may not understand the value of this, but I see these kids searching for water in places where I would never even let my kids go. And it's a reminder that there's millions of people out there who don't have the privilege of listening to podcasts, who don't have the internet, don't have things that we take for granted. We can lean in and help with this initiative. My request of you is to share the Water Project with a friend or family member, perhaps over lunch, just talk about it. And you'll never know how far the ripple effect of good will go from having gotten involved in a project like this. You might share this with somebody who ends up donating $10,000 to this and helping, I don't know, 10,000. I would think that that would help at least 500 to 2,000 people over a 10-year period. It's amazing what the water project does to transparently show you where every dollar goes. The projects come to fruition. It's one of those things that just like, it makes me happy every day when I think about what we're able to do to help with these individuals. So that said, we've got 8 billion people to help in this world as well. So my next hope is that you'll drop a link in the comments to your favorite cause or charity so I can learn about it. I would love to see what else is out there, what we can do. We've got so many people to help in this world that it's so much easier to do when we lean in together and do just that. So now let's go back to helping every single one of you. Again, Austin Holmes, welcome into Vision Pros Live. We were going to talk about Reddit and Quora, but before I go down that rabbit hole, is there a better rabbit hole that we should focus on first?
No, I'll say the leadership aspect that you were just talking about. I could talk about leadership all day long. I think that's one of my favorite things, but I want to be able to provide as much value as I can and be like, there's so much going on. Another of the secrets as we were on break on the PR front is consistency is the way to go. Every major company out there is constantly helping or promoting themselves, getting their brand out there, keeping it in front of people. So wanted to
Dude, I love that. Well, I'm glad you said it, because when I joined a very expensive PR program for me as a young startup, and they convinced me that, yes, this is absolutely the best thing that you need, I was in a room of other people masterminding, Austin, and it didn't take me more than 3 weeks to look around and realize none of these people have had any results. And I was like, this is kind of awkward. And we paid to be here. And the person taught us all the little mechanics behind PR, but the real secret sauce of their program was the final reveal that nobody wanted to hear, which was, you have to kind of build a relationship long term with these journalists and with these people. And so as an entrepreneur who has to build a relationship with prospects, and as an entrepreneur has to build a relationship with clients, and as an entrepreneur has to build a relationship with all my team members, you're now telling me I have to dedicate just as much time to building a relationship with all these PR and media people, and you somehow thought I was going to have the time to do that in addition to everything else I was trying to do as a solopreneur or entrepreneur at that time? No, that was so unfortunate to find out after the fact. So I appreciate you bringing it up. Has that game changed? Has it gotten easier in the last couple of years, or is it pretty much the same that you really gotta have the authentic space to build these relationships strong? What are your thoughts on that?
It's gotten harder. So
Thank you.
yeah,
I love honesty.
So like the number of media members out there has definitely shrank on the traditional side. I don't want to say it's shrank overall, because you have so many types of new media, people with podcasts, influencers, YouTube channels. There's so many different ways for people to build that audience. Now, with there being more and less at the same time, it's gotten a lot more competitive. And I don't think that's going to slow down either, because now everybody realizes in order to rank on AI, I need to stand out. And that's just to show up on the list of the top 10. If you want to be recommended, you better be the best. That's another thing on the backside of PR is, you need the quality reputation. You can't be a dirtbag. You need the good product. Right. And there's a saying out there. It's like, until your product is ready to go, don't go tell the world about it. And yes, you have to get your initial clients. I'm not talking about that. Like friends, family first, and then
you're talking about scale.
Building relationship. But like, if you're trying to leverage PR to take your company to the next level, you better make sure you have a good product. And if you're not sure, you'll find out really, really quickly, or service. Because when a bunch of people come and look at you and your process sucks, when you have emails breaking, and like we have stuff, like you were saying, you make mistakes. We have stuff break every day. But when you have media members coming and checking your stuff out, it better be in line. Correct. Because they're checking because they want their audience to continue to trust them. And if they're sending somebody to a product that is awful, like it tastes awful, or they're sending them to a website that doesn't even work. It creates problems for them just as much as you getting that opportunity, spending time, whether it's building a relationship or working with somebody to do that. It's a lot of wasted effort and resources. And so get your stuff ready ahead of time is kind of the point.
Absolutely. These are such huge topics, guys. There are nuances for wherever you're at in your visionary stage. But if you're in the beginning right now and you don't have $500 a month to commit towards this, then my advice to you is get out of entrepreneurship. Go get a job. Right. You need finances. It is not safe for your family to dive into entrepreneurship without resources. It's just not. I don't want you to suffer that way. But if you're in my position too, where it's like, okay, we've got almost 24,000 followers on our YouTube channel. We've hit Fox. We've got some things out there. I'm not in the best position, but there's other areas right now where my $500 needs to go. Right, we need more stability and more consistency. And as Austin's pointing out, if the media, to me, it reminds me of scouts for college sports and for the NBA. Where if you don't perform well in that game, in your game, my friends, it's everything that's out there online about you. That's already, you don't get to go and perform in front of them and shoot 30 points that day. Like it's already all recorded. They know where to go look. And so if your book had a failed launch, what does that mean? You have like, I don't know, less than 30 reviews on that book that everybody's supposed to like. The media already knows, like, man, if this person's family doesn't even like their book, then no, we're not pulling them on stage. If your website is broken, like Austin talked about. So one of the hacks too, and I call it a hack, but be careful with this, my friends, is advertising. I do highly recommend getting involved with the advertising side of things. I launched a video ad on about our AI marketplace. One of my team members was like, Jackson, this is so raw and so bad. Like, don't do it. Don't you dare do it. And I was like, no. Like, I got my reasons. And they were right. All the byproducts of what they thought would happen, like could happen. And sure enough, we had 40,000 views on this video and 0 landing page hits. It was that bad. We had no. I was like, man, that is, yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, and at the same time, though, I told my team, I said, guys, the real reason we're doing this, one, we're spending $25. $25 for 40,000 eyeballs to tell me, like, nope, this isn't happening. 2, we now have a case study where I can show people who are about to jump into the same well. It didn't hurt me. I already knew exactly what was going to happen with it. I thought maybe we get 1 or 2, but sure enough, nothing. And now I can leverage that case study. And as we relaunch the next video, Andres is really close to finishing that video. We'll be able to juxtaposition the two and show the market, here's why you don't do this. Here's why you do this. And we're going to spend yet again another $25. Right? That is a huge savings. And what we're doing is we're not getting feedback from friends and family and clients who have to tell us that they like us or they're going to be really mean to us because they're that type of family member. Like it's all biased. When we get feedback from people who've never seen our brand before, never heard our name before, don't know anything about what we do, that feedback is a type of gold that is very hard to find these days. Not the advertising. Advertising, that's easy. It's easy to get in track and see what's there. So I recommend paying attention to that as you build towards a PR and media strategy. So back to Reddit and Quora, Austin. What do we need to know about this? Because I literally a week and a half ago, I was like, all right, I guess I'll ignore Reddit and Quora. But you brought it up now, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I thought I knew something here. So teach us.
So part of it is all of the different LLMs use different data sources. Reddit and Quora are highly ranked sources on so many issues. And you probably didn't get the result when you asked about it because there is nothing you can do with AI and Reddit and Quora. They are incredibly good at managing their systems, not just from like AI bots and auto posting, but also just inauthentic posts. And that's why that trust factor is so high with those platforms. And AI fully understands that because they can look at all of the data all at once and say, does this line up across all of the different platforms? And does what the company is saying about itself line up with what other people are saying about them? And it's hard for us to process that like you'd spend an entire day going through somebody else's profile. And we do this often when making purchase decisions. We go through deep into what people are saying about whatever company this is. And AI can do that in a matter of seconds. And so it is doing that every time somebody prompts it, launching agents to go find this information. But Reddit and Quora rank high because they do have that authenticity. Now, how do we get into that realm? You're not using AI, you're not using a generated post. You can probably scrape topics, but that's as far as you can take it. And then it has to be a real human going in and being a real part of the conversation. So one of the great ways to do this is find topics that are relevant to your industry or your geography and make real posts, help people out, answer the questions, and do that consistently. And Reddit's going to reward you by recognizing you as a good contributor, so that when you do occasionally, say president of Publicity for Good and Raptor, and that's why I have expertise in this PR thing, that will then be found by the LLMs. And so you have to do it very subtly, and you have to actually be contributing to the conversation. Starting an entire thread, like if we were doing local only, like we're in Nashville, and if I wanted to say, hey, PR professional conversation Nashville, and like I'm starting that topic and I'm contributing and replying every time somebody posts, like they're going to recognize that, hey, we're PR professionals in Nashville. Like, but it is a powerful trust indicator.
Wow.
Now it can backfire if somebody doesn't like you. They can go in your thread and be like, I worked with these guys, they suck. Thanks. I appreciate that. Start a new thread.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Tim Grover, for instance, and this is one of the best trainers of all time, wrote a book. And at the same time, I highly doubt he's liked by your typical person who's looking for a personal trainer, because he's hardcore, right? And so I'm also a kind of a hardcore individual when it comes to business and hospitality and service. And I mean, we're relentless when it comes to hospitality. And some businesses I work with absolutely hate that. They don't want to step into that level of consistency and reliability. And so I've been looking at this from, okay, so if you have a bit of an edge to you, you want to be careful with how you build out on Reddit or Quora, or you've got to build certain mechanisms to make sure the general pop doesn't just hose you. Let me just be real and honest. Like general pop does not want to. They don't want to hear me. I'm way too frou-frou and I'm way too intense. So go ahead, run with this.
No, I'll take the counterpoint on this one of be yourself. I don't know if we talked about authenticity on the first one, but being yourself, like you're never going to please everyone. That's the bottom line. Like people will hate you just because they enjoy hating people. And as you grow in your profile, in your notoriety, whether that's local or for your state or nationally or internationally, I'm sure people have opinions on Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon doesn't care because he's running the largest bank, or the largest U.S. bank. But being yourself is actually going to build trust with the people you want to build trust with. Those are your community. That's who you want to reach. And you're going to take flack along the way. That's a part of the process.
So what would you recommend for somebody like Jamie Dimon then, or myself? Like if somebody's got that edge and they, we're still trying to help the ethical individuals with this. By the way, we're not going for controversy. We're not saying the Jordan Belfort style. But like people who just, I don't know, like I guess the black card bank comes to mind. It's like, okay, if you're the one selling the black card and you got all these people who might be like, oh, that's just for the rich and the elite and blah blah blah, like that, I can see that being a hit. What's another one? A fancy restaurant that's French Laundry, reservations forever. Man, that's hard because I'm leaning into brands that have an unfair advantage over all of us, Austin. But maybe a special ops individual who's not Tim Grover, who wants to grow their brand, and they're not known by anybody, and so they're going to come across a lot of people who don't want to do this like hellfire and damnation exercise routine, what would you recommend for them to do to leverage things like Reddit and Quora, or should they just work on other things in the meantime?
I'll go backwards on this one.
Okay.
It's what do you want to be known for?
Mhm.
In pretty much any form of success, being known is a part of it. And I'll use one of the people we appreciate a whole lot of going backwards from, okay, what you're known for, that's based on what you do.
Mhm.
And then it starts with what you say. And you can take it back to what you believe. So believe what you say what you mean, do what you say, and then you'll be known for that. Um,
Ooh,
and
that's
I think that that's a powerful way to approach it of what do you want to be known for? Start with the end in mind.
dude, that's mic drop. I'm frustrated because I didn't catch it all right away, but I'm gonna go back and listen to it myself because I don't ever really go back and listen to my episodes, but you just nailed that. So now I'm going back.
It'll make a good short.
Oh, it's going to make a great short. All of you who heard that, your lives have been blessed more than you possibly know. All right, moving forward, Austin. Let's take some time to dive into your vision. Who is Austin Holmes? What's your vision? Is it just boxed in on Signal Raptor, or does it go beyond that? Like you get to take this
I
any direction you want.
I'm gonna go full bore because I don't know that I've actually talked about this publicly. I can't remember. We want to be one of the top PR firms in the U.S. And that vision has evolved over time. The traditional PR firm size is in the 9-figure range. If you're looking like top 10 U.S., most of those firms have been around for 40 years, and we fully recognize that. I'd rather it not take 40 years. And so a huge
Right.
part of our strategy right now is acquisitions, and the software with Signal Raptor. That is a massive market opportunity. So Raptor, I'll start with Raptor on this front. With Raptor, the vision has been, hey, let's make a tool where a business can communicate everything it needs to everybody it needs to in one place. It has taken us 2.5 years to figure out how to do that. And so we just launched the third version of Signal Raptor, which is the media focused aspect of it. But we have several other programs that we're rolling out. We actually just rolled out Agency Raptor as well. Like, hey, here's because that was my pain point when we started Raptor. How do I manage PR operations for our team? Can't find a good software out there. So let's make our own. That was my personal pain point that we were solving for, but we've added Sales Raptor in the mix, and I can't say the name of this one because I haven't secured the domain yet. Still trying to work through that, but with the radical changes in what AI can do over the past 6 months with agentic, I think there's a gap of a lot of people who want to install AI in their business, and they're never going to make it because Dave, this is what I'm talking about. Like every 5 days, like it's a new world, and it's getting more and more complicated, and it's moving faster and faster.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, if you haven't started on this journey already, you're probably not going to make it because it's such a large learning curve that a lot of us have been spending the past 2 years, 6 months, however you want to look at it, learning all of this stuff. And so that is a massive competitive advantage for us. I want to bring the Raptor program that lets somebody run their business with AI integrated to where they can build $100 million business with an executive assistant, because all of the systems are built there and all of the outbound communications comes from, let's call it, you're sitting there, you have one video a day you're recording, maybe it's an hour long. It takes everything that you need to say to everybody you need to say it to and generates what needs to happen from there. It has all the conversations. I'm with you. I appreciate the human connection. And so we're building Raptor in that way. But I want the local tree trimming service who doesn't want to touch AI and just wants it to work and wants people to call him to get him to come over and work on their trees. Like, we want to build that solution. And so that's what we've started doing. And it actually came from us solving a problem for ourselves as well with PFG. PFG, our agency, Publicity for Good, has become a more and more complex machine as we've grown.
Yep.
And I laugh because we just went to an intensive, and there's a lot of guys kind of around the same level as us, and they're all doing the same thing for themselves. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely a need. So we want to build that for the guy who's never going to log into VS Code and start building his own ERP solution. But I think it could benefit so many business owners. And again, with Raptor's philosophy, we want to do it in an incredibly affordable way where mom and pop shop on Main Street can run their business at the highest level, at least from the tech side and the tools available, and make it very easy for them. So that's my vision for Raptor. And on PFG, it's building that to a top level agency. There's a lot of other aspects to helping other businesses that we're planning on adding now. Part of that's scale. Part of it's like, we just see all of these needs and want to help our clients because we love the products and services that we work with. They're all mission driven. They're all trying to do something good in the world. And we've had to figure out so many things for ourselves. And now, okay, let's help our clients in this way.
Wow.
But all of that, all of that, we're positioned in the media. We want to be a powerhouse there so that we are a true change maker in the conversation, because there's so much negative out there, and we want to be able to be that voice of positivity across the media. So pretty big goals there.
These are huge goals, and they're amazing. I hope you go get that domain after we talk right now, because I think you planted enough seeds for some of us to guess. So, like, go definitely, Austin. Don't lose out on that.
I'm bidding on it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You got it. Okay, yeah. Cool. So it's already in the process. Yeah. No, like firstclassbusiness.com. When I saw that for 40,000, I was like, yeah, no, we'll be .io. It's fine. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right. So you got this massive vision, and you've inspired me now. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna reveal behind the scenes of something that I've been building related to the same thing. I call it the light switch for entrepreneurship. And I mean that. The light switch these days is so easy that you can have a lot of severe incapacities in life, and you can still use that thing and turn lights on. About 150 years ago, had you told me to play with electricity, I think most people would have been like, what are you talking? Like, no, I'm not going to die. Education has changed so much so that we can really get in and we can build systems. And so I've got this thing called the 7 avatars, and I'm going to reveal it right now. It is super raw and real. And a year and a half ago, when I thought I was going to spend some time building this out, then AI switched again and again and again. I was like, okay, well, we're still going to have to figure this out, but it's getting easier. And I just want the freaking world to catch up. It's a pain in the butt to deal with businesses that don't understand this process. Yeah. So back to it. 7 avatars of business. We're going to share my screen here. I'm going to go to the super ugly design for you guys. Welcome to pre-AI Jackson. Here we go. All right, so Austin.
Where it starts.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we call the golden snapshot. Why? You got the high-level shirt on, because Go High Level designed a system where we can create everything in a snapshot that we can then gift to other businesses beyond doing it. But what most people don't realize is down here on the left-hand side, these 7 different avatars, most businesses never realize that you have to have procedures, resources, and templates, and training, and pipelines, and opportunities, and workflows, and landing pages, and emails for every single one of them if you want to be positioned to scale. Most people focus on prospects and clients, or they call them patients and customers. But they don't realize that we have job candidates in our business, we have vendors, we have strategic partners, we have team members, we have PR and media professionals, and we have investors. all 7 of these individuals, if we're not prepared for, we are falling short and missing out. And I combine this with the emotional intelligence of a pipeline. The world of marketing teaches people are unaware and then aware and then considering and they have intent and they evaluate and they commit and buy. But they don't teach you how to drive that. That's what this side's for. Is if you intrigue, attract, inspire, and then invite, offer, and support those individuals, that's how you build healthy relationships that lead to loyalty. And every pipeline stage is different. If I want to buy stock in Chick-fil-A, it doesn't start because I wanted to buy the stock unless I'm super wealthy. It started because they did something that caught my attention for free. I ended up then investing time or money in the opportunity. Then I became a core loyalty member. And then I wanted to join the Cool Kids Club and move all the way up to potentially invest. So every single one of these elements, if you were to multiply them, ultimately results in over 40,000 variables that if you pull together really, really, really well, it's actually a universal puzzle that applies to every single business on earth. And so anyway, that process for me is, yes, Austin, I'm with you, but my market is not the PR market. It is Ernst & Young, Deloitte, McKinsey and Company, Virgin Startups. We want to build a freemium business model to compete with those types of entities that are helping businesses worldwide too. Maybe we end up joining forces at some point. My friends, I don't know what Austin and I are going to decide to do on that, but I like this guy.
Yeah.
So continue. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's super interesting because it just shows you how, joining forces, having people around you, partnerships, because like the way you are approaching it is very different than like mine is from a source of internal pain with software. And I understand our systems enough to know what we need, and I can duplicate that via essentially a snapshot. But you're thinking about it from like, what's the intention behind each of these things? And I'm thinking about it from like the tool basis. And you need both sides of that because it helps you design better. So that's a powerful breakdown. And now I have to go think, oh, why are we doing this? So.
Right. So yeah, we just expanded each other's puzzles almost infinitely. Compound effect, my friends. So these I never know what's going to happen on these shows, guys. We're all visionary leaders in this world. Every single one of us, whether we're leading ourselves or we're leading others, every decision we make has to do with our vision. And sometimes my vision is just outside my window, in the here and now and in the present. But sometimes it's based on the future, or other people are kind of stuck looking at the past. And I'm not here to judge, whichever. It kind of sounds like I'm judging you if you're stuck looking at the past. Sorry. You can be looking at the past for good too, learning from history so it doesn't repeat itself. Right. So there's all sorts of opportunities. But Austin, what about on the personal side? Signal Raptor, phenomenal. Publicity for good. Again, we've had our eyes on you for a while and have rescheduled you a couple of times to gear up for this. And thank you for being able to come back. Personal side, what's your vision?
We got the chance earlier this year to go to a retreat, Thriving Families Retreat. Lonnie and his wife put on this amazing show, and they've been living it for 20 years. And we're friends with their kids, or one set of their kids. We do know the other ones, but he's been counseling family offices for a long time on a couple different topics, but one of them is the success of the family office and the relationships required, the intentionality behind the relationships in the family being the most important thing. So we got to go and learn all this amazing information. And one of the principles that they teach on is spiritual capital. And that is mission, vision, values for the family, along with the spiritual side. And we got to sit down and actually map out who we want to be as a family. What do we want to become, and what does it look like when we get there? And that was a very, very powerful exercise. And that has changed our family life. We have had big dreams for a long time about where our family can go and the impact that our family can have at every level. And to sit there and do that work is so vital. And so now we do have clarity on where we want to go. It's not just the business, but we have clarity that we want to be a family together in service, and making sure that we're walking the path that has been laid before us. And I don't want that to stop with Heather and I. Heather and I don't want to stop with our generation. Both of our families have had very successful businesses in the past. Both sides are now gone. And there's varying levels of family issues that have come through that. Like I had the opportunity to talk to my parents immediately following this event and learned a tremendous amount about some of that history. And so we're trying to look back, learn from the past, learn from our families of what not to do. We're seeking guidance of where we do want to go. And it solidifies why we're doing what we're doing. It makes you intentional. Like, does this move us towards the vision that we have for our family in the future? Another part of it is we want our family to be connected. It's not just our blood relatives, it's our family of affinity. And so we're taking our first trip in a while that's like a vision trip, more or less. We're heading down to your neck of the woods. We'll be in Costa Rica in November. And
halfway down here. But yeah, if you want to make the other half of the trip, come on down to Ecuador. Let's do it.
It's closer than Tennessee. But yeah, I have no idea distance down there. I know it's a 3-hour flight from Miami. But it's going to be the first time we've done that. And we're actually going with the daughter and son-in-law of the people who put the event on. And so the daughter's been living it for 20 years. And so we'll
Is that an open event, like something that we can find for our own futures if we're ready for it? I mean, not this one, not the Costa Rica trip. That sells personal family stuff. I'm talking about the retreat.
Yeah. So Thriving Families, I don't know. I imagine there will be another one. I don't know when or where or how. I believe this was the first one. So it was a culmination of this 20 years of knowledge that went into this event. And I know one of the people he greatly respects, if you want some more information on this, is James Hughes. Don't ask me how to spell it. It's on Spotify. But I believe the book that I had started with, I can pull it up real fast, because if you are on the pathway where a family office is in your future, then learning this sooner rather than later, I think, pays off.
James E. Hughes Foundation, Family Wealth Management. Is this probably the gentleman?
Yeah. So Complete Family Wealth as Well-Being, second edition, is that book. The first one, I think, has a different title even, because he himself went through his journey. So I know James has helped Lonnie over the years with their family stuff. And so it's kind of wild. I was having the conversation at the event, and they were talking about 7th and 8th generation families that are still rolling strong. And
that's amazing.
It's way more to do with the family relationship, the guiding principles behind the family. And a key thing is you have to get buy-in from each generation. It's not just the founders said it and then it goes forever. That doesn't work. That's where you see 3 generations, the family doesn't have anything again. Including relationships, which is arguably the best part of the wealth. Being close with your family is valuable to us, absolutely, and that's family of affinity too. It's not just blood relatives. But there are very, very good and powerful stories. But that's how, if that's on your agenda to literally change the world, think about if you have your family gathering 8 generations from now with 1,500 people in your family, with a lot of resources on top of that. Those are true impact families. And you get to design that from the ground up. Now, if you're already further down the road, your kids are older, absolutely still start this process. We were joking, and the line came up of, if you have kids under 10, just brainwash them. And I'm like,
how many kids do you guys have?
So we just had our 4th. So we have 4 at this point, a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 4-month-old. So it is a full house.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We get to
But
hear the
it's
joy of that in the background too a little bit, and I love it personally.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm a father of 4 as well, and Austin. I'm so grateful. One, I'm grateful to God that I asked the question. Doubled down on the personal because I needed this today. Thank you. And ironically, you can relate things to irony if you want, but guys, I don't take a lunch, and today I took a very short lunch. But in it, I put on a scripture Bible study thing on YouTube while I was listening to the background. And what did it talk about? It talked about the third generation and keeping the third generation strong. Like
Yeah.
that has never happened on our podcast. We have never had somebody talk about this. And so to have that happen on the same day, it's just like, okay, God's speaking to me on what I need. Go ahead.
For believers, for people of the Jewish faith, it's our call, and Christian as anyway, you guys get it. Judeo-Christian. We're called to lead not only our children, but our children's children. And I think there might be a children's children one in there. Like that responsibility has been placed on us to make sure that they are trained properly. And I think that was let go at some point, and I don't know when it was, but it became the nuclear family, and it was you're responsible for your kids, and that's not accurate. You are responsible for a whole lot more than that. And for Heather and I, we feel like we are responsible for our team members, and we are responsible for their families to some extent, in making sure that we're providing a place where they can have an incredible lifestyle, where they have opportunity to grow and earn more and learn and develop as leaders. We've stepped into that a lot, but that just, if that's 100 people, call it, you have a massive impact this generation and 100 families, I should say.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty small business. For the other side of it, how many people we can impact by working in the media is massive. Yeah. The potential reach every month, I think, is in the billions out of all of the placements that we get for our clients. And so, yes, that's our little piece of reaching the world in a real way, and hopefully with a positive story.
I really appreciate you derailing with me to the family side. There's this thing called the spirit of Elijah, and it talks about the hearts of the children will turn to the fathers, and the hearts of the fathers turn to the children, and it's a sacred opportunity that exists. And Austin, I'm twice divorced, and so as I listened to you about this and about being able to go to that family workshop and learn about the family office and all that, like these are the things that I wish early on, I had been able to have access to sooner, and I look at that from a longing standpoint that my day will come, right? There will be an opportunity. Yet all of you visionaries listening in, the time to solidify your family and put that first and foremost is now, right? Wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. Like Austin said, if your kids are older or if your kids are younger, you don't have kids yet, leaning into solidifying that can create a stability and a security for your vision and for your life that is not something that I recommend leaving to chance. So thank you again for talking about that. We're going to go over to the page real quick. I want to look at this with everybody. So this is the sign up page for Signal Raptor, and it does talk about this particular program is $500 a month. And I saw some of these things on here. I was like, okay, the monthly schedule of services, the one article per month written by your team, reviewed by me, for instance, in my business, and placed in the media outlet. And then it says one news release as requested, purpose created, written by our team and posted, one media pitch per week to targeted media groups in order to secure media opportunities for your brand. What are some of the likely placements that come out of this? What are some of the sauces behind the scenes on this, Austin?
Yeah, it's consistency. So that's the principle that we built Raptor on. That's how people grow over time and get bigger and bigger opportunities over time. One of our first people in the program has been with us for a couple of years now, and she just secured a print in Women's World, and she's a female influencer. And that was one of her pinnacle placements that she could have gotten. But it took that consistency. So that's like very high end And all the rest, everything
How
else
long
we
has she
do,
been with you guys?
couple years.
Couple
So
years. Okay.
yeah, and that was maybe 2 months ago. But she was in the print,
Sure.
which for Women's World, if you guys are unfamiliar, it's in every grocery store in the United States, pretty much sitting next to the checkout. And that was a phenomenal opportunity for her. I need to follow up and see what's come from it. But
Well, and to be clear
yeah,
too, if Dr. Eric Berg joins your program today, Signal Raptor, right, and he uses it, he's got 14 million subscribers on YouTube. So the ability for him to get placed like instantly in anything he does is massive because he brings notoriety and attention. Like every media outlet's like, are you telling us our media outlet's going to get in front of 14 million people? Like, yeah, we'll put you in the news. So
yeah,
there's an opportunity that exists there. But I love the humility you bring to that because yeah, no, if your brand is new and you're not well known and you don't have a massive popular celebrity style footprint in the world, then like Austin said, it's going to take some time to build up for that. I'm not going to land in the same articles that Dr. Eric Berg's going to land in right away. Like I have to build up towards that
yeah.
too. So continue on that. That's a big victory. I want to hear more. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it depends on what somebody wants and where somebody's starting. Like your point on somebody with 14 million has different expectations of the media coverage that they can secure than or should than somebody who has their first 1,000 followers. And like you can build a life from that. You can have your 2,000 followers, 5,000, whatever it is, and you can build a life purely from that. A lot of us use that as leverage for other things. Like we have been building Heather's for a really long time, my wife, and we've been building mine for really the past like 9 months. And like I could probably go make a living just from that. But we're able to leverage it into a much better opportunity vehicle, which we really should. Have you talked about opportunity vehicles before on here?
No, I
Okay,
want to
we
hear
should
about
do
it.
that. So that's a super valuable thing, especially for people starting. But the
Bring it back now.
progression.
Will you come back and talk about it with me?
I don't see why not.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm like, well, I feel like I'm talking to the Bill Gates of PR, man. So sometimes I'm like, bow to Austin for doing the show.
It's from Warren Buffett. I'm sure he got it from somewhere else, but it is a Warren Buffett concept.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put a pin in it. You guys are gonna have to come back and listen to this another time. So, but Austin, if this was the last chance you had to talk to all of us and provide some wisdom or counsel or guidance to other visionaries out there, what would it be?
Tell your story. There are so many platforms you can do it on. If you're not, you're actually hurting other people because like one part of it is other people need to hear your story because there are people not in good places. That's why I do my podcast. It's for the guys getting out of the military that feel hopeless. Like there's not an option. There's not another mission for them to go accomplish. That's why I do my show. And I get to tell my story along the way there. But the other part of it is if you don't, then you are missing out on connecting with so much of what you can potentially influence in this world. The third thing, there is constantly a struggle for attention. And there are people who want to use that attention to do bad things. So I feel it is our responsibility to be a part of those voices out in the world. Truth comes from everybody speaking out into the world what's going on. It is like you're never going to get the whole story from one source. I think we've very much seen that over the past couple of years. And so the short version of this is I believe more voices out in the marketplace is a good thing. And that helps people find the truth because it's somewhere in the middle. Like the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. And unless you're living whatever that story is, I experienced this when the hurricane rolled through North Carolina. I heard what both sides were saying in the media. Neither one was accurate. I heard what we were saying as an organization. That wasn't accurate. What I saw on the ground with my own eyes, it's because it's hard to tell the story. And that's
Yes, it
why
is.
great storytellers are so valued in our society. But if we don't speak up and share what we do know and try and communicate, there's so much that can happen or that doesn't happen if we don't speak up. So share your story.
Oh, I love that. My friends, let's share our stories. Let's get our visions out there. Let's help people belong to it. Let's create the infrastructure necessary to support those who need our help as well. And it is entities like Austin Holmes that can help us drive the attention and the revenue as well in order to solidify our stories and make sure that it is a secure path for everybody else. Austin, thank you and Heather for everything that you guys have built. Bless your family. And thank you again for letting us know about that family office. Part of things that's one of those hidden gems and secrets that most entrepreneurs that don't come from wealth have never heard of before. And you dropped several of those nuggets during this talk today. So well, I want to keep you hostage for the next several hours of my life. I'm gonna let us wrap up today. But Vision Pros, if you got comments, questions, insights, things that you want to know, reach out to Austin on LinkedIn or any other platform as well. Feel free to also drop some comments. Let us know what we can do to further help you with your visions. And we'll see you guys all on the next episode of Vision Pros Live.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision.